My name is Sue Middleton, and I am a Director of Moora Citrus. I wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land we're meeting on, the Uwid Nation. I wish to acknowledge and respect their continuing culture and the contribution that they make to our region. And I'd also like to acknowledge and welcome other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who may be attending today. I'd also like to welcome our very special guests, the Honourable Alannah MacTiernan, the Honourable Shane Love, Councillors Peter Osborne and Tracy Humphrey, and our friends from the State Government and the Wheatbelt Development Commission. I would also like to do a special shout out today to Jenny Franceschi. She's a fellow producer from down south and she has just won the Telstra Businesswoman of the Year for WA. Please join me in congratulating Jenny. Where are you? Oh, Jenny's away from Jenny. We're very, very excited that a farmer's won. And welcome to all of you, our friends, our family. Our citrus industry family, the supply chain, the finance sector, the food industry, and the wonderful staff and fellow directors of Moora Citrus who are here today. Welcome one and all. Today is a really special day for many people in this room, and we're so excited to be able to share this moment with you. It represents the culmination of years of hard work. Over 15 years ago, our family had a dream that they could develop a horticulture business in a sheep paddock. And everyone said it was crazy and everyone said it wouldn't work. But as Nelson Mandela said, vision with action can change the world. Everyone that has come on that journey, the Gillen Group who are here today, and Vanessa's here from the Gillen Group, and ACS, with Alan will be speaking later, the English family, Mark's here from the English family, the K family, I think there's about 68 of you here, is that correct? Or 80. Merry Christmas, K family, because there's a lot of you here. The Gildas family and our amazing staff and all of their families. All of these guys, we call them the Blue Shirt Brigade up the back. Shout out to you guys because you actually make it all happen. And also now the families that make up Moora Citrus Packers. Today is a really clear demonstration that the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world can change the world. Although I would contend if you looked at the stats, you wouldn't say it's crazy that this is happening. Whilst we may live in a region called the wheat belt, it's not just a wheat belt. It's actually a citrus, carrot, lettuce and egg belt. We are the biggest citrus producing region in Western Australia. We grow 60% of the state's lettuces, 53% of the state's eggs, and 38% of all the carrots. So if you want to grow agriculture in WA, we would say this is the way you need to come. So housekeeping, I need to do a little bit of housekeeping. Emergency exits. Basically, the assembly area is out the front, so just move out that way. But if anything happens in this shed that's going to threaten it, I've got to tell you we're all staying here because we're going to cry. So we're not going with you. Mobile phones, if you haven't already put them on silent, please do. But please make sure if you want to tweet, if you're on any social media platform, go for it. We are filming, we have photographers here today, so if you're uncomfortable about being filmed, just let Liz know. And where is Liz? Oh, Liz, okay, everyone knows Liz. The shiny orange shoes. We have 3 speakers today, then we're going to have a short video, and then the Minister will open the pack shed. Then I'm going to ask you all to do something for us, a very big favour. We want to get a photo of you all here today. So we're going to get you to come up and gather around the stage. You're all going to pick up an orange and hold it up, and we're going to get a shot of everyone who's here today. So just listen very carefully to me when you get to the end. And then we're going to conclude with a fabulous citrus-themed morning tea from the Bindoon Bakehouse. Now, I also want you to know you can make as much noise as you like during this opening. We want you to just fill this shed with joy. So if you want to bang your feet, clap us, if you can cheer, yodel, cooey, we don't care. We want you to make as much noise as you like. So that's the end for me. I'm going to now welcome the man of the moment. Hasn't slept, I think, for about 2 months. So he's very, very happy to get to this day. The Moora Citrus Orchard Manager and joint owner of the Packshed, Mr. Shane Kay. Give him a big round of applause.
Thanks for that, Sue. And thanks very much for the Minister for making time to come up today and help us open up the shed. I'd like to welcome everybody to the new Moora Citrus packing shed in Bindoon. It's great to see so many people that we've known and worked with for such a long time, and even some new acquaintances. It's great to have so many here to help put some life into this building and give it a name, because up until this stage it's just been a lot of concrete and steel and building materials. So from today onwards it's got some life in it, so it'll be great. So I'd like to just quickly tell you a little bit about the shed itself and also about the people that make up Moora Citrus. I'll quickly give you a rundown of the facility. I was born about by the need to cater for some increasing production from our orchards and to help alleviate a shortfall in packing capacity in the growing regions north of Perth. Also to streamline and bring together under one roof all the necessary procedures we need to be able to cater for the needs of the domestic market firstly. And here we'll be able to pack specifically to requirements of our domestic wholesalers and retailers who have played such an important part of getting Moora Citrus to where it is today. But also as an extension to that, the building's been designed as an export packing facility, and going forward we'll be able to package, cool, inspect, load and deliver to port to some of the premium markets around the world that have got Australian citrus so much in demand. So, and with that, that's designed for our fruit and also any other fruit from other growers in the region that will be interested in embracing exports. To give you an idea of the process we've put in place, the fruit will be delivered from the orchard in bins and unloaded in the unloading bay out to this side here. It'll be stored about where you're all standing now, and then it'll go through the processing line down to the other end where it's washed, waxed, treated and sized for blemish, where it goes when it goes onto the grading line. The grading line, we've put in a 4-lane MAF Integra sizer with 42 drops. It's got global scan 6 sorting technology. This software has the ability to grade by weight, size, colour, shape and blemish, all combined to give up to 8 different grades with multiple sizes, and it's all done at speeds of up to 600 pieces of fruit a minute, and 40 photographs are taken of each piece of fruit in that time as it passes through. So it's all very quite sophisticated technology. So from here it'll be delivered into packages for the Perth market or into bins to then be repacked for export. At the north end of the shed we have another loading bay out to the side at the north end for side loading, and 2 tail docks for loading straight into containers. So there are 3 cool rooms currently, 2 of which are designed to hold 4C containers of fruit each and bring it down to less than 2.1 degrees, which is the temperature required for fruit to travel via sea to meet the strict fruit fly protocols imposed on us. To get the building to this stage, it's taken a lot of hard work by a lot of people, and I'd really like to thank all the contractors and the tradespeople that have been involved in getting the project completed. The shed was lifted on the 31st of May, and to get it to this stage in that time throughout the middle of winter in Bindoon is quite an achievement. The offices that you can see here that we walked through that have come up beautifully have been finished in 8 weeks. And I hope that everybody that works in there will see them as a nice environment to work in. They've come up beautifully. It's taken a huge effort by everyone, and I really appreciate that. I'd also like to thank packing sheds that have done a great job of packing our fruit to date. That includes Strathby's, the Gilladucci family, WA Farm Packing and AgriFresh. Thank you ever so much for the great work, and we look forward to continue working together in as many ways as we possibly can in the future. In amongst us today, you'll see there's a lot of blue Moora Citrus shirts out there that Sue mentioned earlier. These are all the people that are part of the business in different areas. Somewhere at the back there's a small group of our excellent assistants from Tonga that do a great job. Great job of our harvest and pruning and other work around the orchard. They're also getting a pretty good reputation as singers. Also, we have the management team at the orchard looking after the important operations that are necessary to get the absolute best out of our trees. So there we've got Andy Hinton, Katrin Evans, Susie Jones, Roland Hessels and Nathan Joyce. And helping these guys with their work and doing a fantastic job in the orchard is Brian Dobson, Amir Zarico, Kathy Cleesby, Merbert Palmer, Jeff Harper and Joel Chaplin. The production from the orchard is so important. Without this, everything that relies on it will become meaningless. So keep up the good work, guys. You're doing a fantastic job. So now in the new Moora Citrus packing shed, everyone that worked in Nyla Citrus will move over into this new business. And that includes Michael and Tanya, Luke Antonovich, Karen Kay, and the most important person of all, Bridget Kay. Yeah. There's a lot of packing experience there, and we'll also be looking to fill some new positions as we get into next season. Packing shed will be extremely important to get the best out of the fruit and present it in a way that will really make our customers happy and keep coming back for more. The growers of the fruit have been growing the fruit for a year. When it passes through the shed, it's only in here for a day, so the packing shed can never muck that up. Once all that work has gone into growing and packing the fruit, then we need some really good marketing and some great promotions and some good media to link people to our fruit. And Liz Brennan does a great job of this as media and marketing manager. So now we've got all this beautiful fruit and it's presented in a lovely branded package, and we've got all these customers that are excited because they've heard about it and read about it. Then we need to match the right product to the right customer, and we've got to get the right price, because now we've got to pay for a new shed. And since Damien Guthrie has joined the company's sales and distribution manager, we've really been able to satisfy our customers both domestically and overseas. Damien's achieved some excellent results for us this year, so thanks, Damien. What a lot of people don't get to see in WA is our management company based in Melbourne, Australian Corporate Services. They provide excellent management and strategic management and keep the ship steering in a straight direction, so thanks to everyone at ACS. That includes Andrew Lee, Gareth Verbeen, Susan Yilditz, and also Justin and Dominic in the office there also. And none of those people are here today, but I'm sure that'll get passed on to them. At the helm of Australian Corporate Services and Moora Citrus is Alan Yilditz. Like the rest of us in the company, Alan definitely has passion for the business, and like a good leader, he always challenges us and at the same time supports everybody. And I'd just like to say, a lot of people can be credited with getting the shed where it is today, but I can honestly say that without Alan's passion, creativity, know-how and ability to make things happen, we wouldn't be here today. So, Al's contribution helps us all do our jobs better. And in the time that I've worked with Moora Citrus, which I've really enjoyed, I've learned a lot of old Turkish sayings and a lot about football, especially the first and the last quarter. So I really appreciate the support and working with you, Alan. And quickly, just also to thank the support we get from the board, directors and shareholders, Englishes, Middletons, Brennans, Yildises, and especially the Gillen families whose support is so important to us. So thank you all very much for coming, and I'll pass you over now to Sue again. Yeah. Thanks very much.
Well said, Shane. It's now my very great pleasure to introduce Al, who you've all just heard about. He's also part of Moora Citrus Packers, but he's had a really long involvement in Moora Citrus through the Gillen Group. Now I want this to be really loud. A big country welcome to Al.
I'm not sure how I'm going to go after that introduction. Thanks, Shane. You truly are a champion. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I too would like to welcome the Minister Honourable Alannah MacTiernan, so thank you for being here. The member from Moora, Shane Love, who's heard me speak a few times from day dot, so thank you, Shane. Thank you, Councillors Peter Osborne from Shire of Chittering for representing your community, and Councillor Tracy Humphrey for Shire of Moora for doing the same. And then there are the Allens. There's a few Allens here today. What did we call them? Meerkat, wasn't it, Alan? Meerkats, yeah. So Alan. There's Alan, the CEO from Alan Sheeran, the CEO representing the Shire of Chittering, and Alan Leeson representing the Shire of Moora. So thank you guys for being here. I also like to thank each of the council officers who have been involved in supporting and processing the application for the construction and the completion of the shed that we are now standing in. Thank you. There are a lot of people that I would like to thank, and so I'm going to do it. I'm sorry. Firstly, I want to start by thanking the Westpac Banking Group, who have been with us since almost day dot. Thank you, Simon, for believing in us in the last few years. Thank you so much. And just as important is Ben Coman and all of the Bankwest team who have seen the vision of Moora Citrus and decided to back us in relation to this shed. Our future looks bright. I want to also thank our local partners who sell our fruit from the Cannon Vale markets, with whom we have had handshake deals that have been honoured from the moment that our relationships began. These partners are the Etherington Group, Grant, Robbo, Craig and Julio are here. Thank you. Robbo's not here, but I know he's here in spirit, isn't he, Grant? Thank you. And the FPG Group, represented by Andrew and Ben. There's the Mercer Mooney Group, Paul and Anne, Adrian here today, and WA Farmers Direct, represented by Jenny, Brad, John and the Taddy family. I'd also like to thank our key retailers with whom we cannot get our fruit to the West Australians. So thank you Coles, Woolworths, IGA, more recently Aldi, and each of our small independent businesses for supporting the Moora Citrus brand and ensuring that jobs are being created here in the state where your businesses earn income. The ideology of buying fruit from the local farmer, so long as they can produce it competitively and with quality before buying from anywhere else, will ensure that our children will have a future beyond mining. All of those who work within these retailers, which are some of the biggest on the planet, have a responsibility to the community at large. We are pleased to know that there are many employees that work within these organisations and will leave a legacy that is beyond their employment by creating work for their local communities. I've now been in this building for the third time. On the first two occasions I've shed a tear. And if I have a couple of wines after this, I'll probably have another tear, just so you know. It genuinely feels like we've come to a crucial moment of our journey. It was in 2006 when Michael Brennan, Mark English, Peter Gillen and myself had 11 bottles of wine. The gentlemen are still sitting in front of us over there, and we all agreed to have a crack in Moora. They say you have to be drunk to invest in agriculture, and let me say, we were very, 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 very drunk. It was actually a very funny night as well. If there is one person to whom we owe all of this to, it would clearly be Peter Laidlaw Gillen. Peter's a self-made millionaire property developer who had the courage and the passion to invest millions into the Moora community, and now the community of Bindoon. Peter and his wife have made a lot of sacrifices to keep the investment in Moora Citrus alive. Unfortunately, Peter isn't well enough to see this magnificent facility in person. But no matter where Peter is, his legacy and his passion has been handed over like a baton to all the employees of the Moora Citrus Group. Can I ask for a round of applause for Peter Gillen, his wife, and their 4 children, of which one of them is here representing them all. Say hi to Vanessa. Thanks, Gillo. The passion that I speak of that has been handed by Peter Gillen to the employees is something that I'm most proud about. Our employees consider the oranges they grow, quote, babies from the trees they protect. This is the passion that has allowed Moora Citrus to gain a reputation for excellence and will be a key reason for its success in the future. So thank you all for those who work for Moora Citrus and for all of those who will be working with and for the Moora family. Now, some facts about the industry in the future. When we began our journey in 2006, we were told that the state of Western Australia consumed something in the order of 32,000 tonnes of citrus, and about a quarter of that was being produced or grown out of Western Australia. So since commencement, our priority and loyalty was, and it continues to be, to the local market. After all, we are Australians first, and it is our key duty to ensure that our Western Australian community eats fresh citrus. Our loyalty will always be here first. However, the truth is, during the Western Australian production period, we estimate that less than half the 32,000 tonnes of fruit is actually consumed by Western Australia. Based on our estimates, in the next 4 years, Western Australian citrus growers will produce over 40,000 tonnes of fruit. In other words, the local market will be flooded with citrus unless we all work together. We identified this 2 years ago and became the pioneers of exporting citrus in a material way from this beautiful state. While we have had the support of our government, which is critical if we are going to be competitive on the international stage, because there is clearly government support elsewhere, we have genuinely made mistakes in this journey as well, in the export journey. Not only have those mistakes cost our pockets, but also exceed our confidence. We learned of words like fruit having chilling injury, and the fact that a communication or lack thereof can cost you $50,000 per container. Our passion is to represent West Australia on the international stage. During our recent trip to China, while the texture of our fruit isn't quite right yet, which must be impacted by the Fremantle doctor, so Minister, can you do something about that? We need a big blind or something to stop the wind coming through. The fact is though, our Chinese consumers wanted to keep eating our fruit because of the sugar and the brix levels were considered perfect. And at the end of the day, the scorecard for Western Australia would be measured against the quality and the texture of its fruit. So, we do not consider the farmer up the road in Gingin or in Harvey as our competitors. Actually, it's far from it. Our competitors are South Africa, the United States, Southern America and Egypt. And if we are to maintain our place on the international market floor, all of us have to be known as growers of damn good tasty fruit. We need the technology and the intellect to be leaders against our true competitors that can produce the same quantity of fruit at much cheaper prices than us. In other words, we have to continue to strive to be the best. This is the reason why Peter Gillen and all of us have invested our energy into this great packing facility. I also know that all of you have now become stakeholders in this journey. And so long as we all contribute in a positive way, there will only be one outcome that will be ahead. There will be success, employment for our community, and prosperity for all. So as long as we work together, the future looks bright. So thank you for listening to me, and thank you for being part of this, our future. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. Well said. It's now our very great privilege to bring to the microphone and the stage our very own Minister for Regional Development and Agriculture, the one, the only Alannah MacTiernan.
Thanks very much, Sue, for that warm welcome. And honestly, it really is fantastic to be here today and to see all the parts of this extraordinary process. Of course, can I now acknowledge Sue and her husband, Mr. Middleton. I made that mistake early on. But the Brennan family. But it's good to see, it's good to see the prominent role that women are playing in agriculture and horticulture in Western Australia. I must say, in sort of my absence of 8 years or so from the state scene, to come back here and to see what I reckon is an extraordinary sea change in the way that women have stepped up in this sector into leadership roles is incredible. And I'll take this opportunity to acknowledge Jenny Franceschi and of course Wayne, but Jenny in particular, another fantastic leader in horticulture, a pioneer who has won that prestigious Telstra Award. You know, it's really fantastic. Acknowledging, of course, the Gillen family and Alan Niditz, you know, people who have been prepared to bring capital and passion with that capital to assist these our people that are out there growing. To the English family and of course to Bridget and Shane Kay, who are multi-generational citrus growers here in Bindoon. Our representatives from local government, from our department, I think John Ruprecht, our irrigated agriculture leader, is here because there has been, of course, a lot of collaboration between the old Department of Ag, now the Department of Primary Industries, and the Moora Citrus story. And really fantastic to see so many of the workforce people that obviously been involved in developing this great facility. The workers that are out there picking the fruit, the workers that are out there maintaining the orchards, the workers that are going to be involved in packing these wonderful bits of bottled sunshine. It's fantastic to see you all here today, because at the end of the day, one of the real drivers, the real reason why we want to see local industry thrive and prosper and want to go out there and capture those international markets is that we want to create jobs for people throughout Western Australia, and in particular in the regions. We understand that the essence of the Australian story is the ability for people to shape their lives, to have a place in the sun through the opportunity of having good, well-paid and secure employment. That it is absolutely fundamental to this country to be able to create the jobs that give people that opportunity to underpin their lives and have good, strong, self-reliant lives. So fantastic to see all of you here today. And Alan, I was particularly interested in your focus on saying that of course, the local industry is your first priority, and I think it's always important. It's important for us to remember that the local market is always a very important part of our product, and indeed substitution for those imports that are coming in from overseas and from the eastern states is really very important. I haven't got the figures here today, but we've done some work on the volume of fruit and the value of fruit that we import every year into Western Australia, and it's extraordinary. And so there is a great value to be added here locally, just from import replacement. But of course, as Alan said, that it is very important that we have diversification in our market. And you know, this agriculture, and particularly horticulture, it is a high-risk game. You go out and invest, you're getting good prices on a product, everyone else swamps into the market, creates the same market, and then all of a sudden your prices drop, and all that effort that you've put in is undermined. So it is absolutely critical for the industry that we have diversified outlets, and obviously export is a really important one. And the great potential that we have really to go into those premium markets of China, South Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, really very, very important for us to do that work. And of course that's the story of this, really this packing shed. At first the grant that was given by the old Department of Ag to do the research about what the potential was for moving into the export industry, what would be the requirements to make that work, and then coming together with a co-investment model between the department and obviously industry to get this great facility up. So we're really, really very pleased that this has been done. We really want to acknowledge, you know, the entrepreneurialism, the creativity, the drive that has gone on by Sue and all of the team that have been involved in Moora Citrus, and express our, you know, that we just love the way that you have worked so well with government, and the government has been able to step in at a few points and strategically support you on your mission to expand this industry, to create great economic diversity for this state. So guys, it is with very great pleasure that I can't quite declare it open because we've got a little bit of a, but really appreciate being here today. It's been a great opportunity to come and see fantastic people doing a wonderful job. Thank you very much.
Okay, and coming right back at you, Minister, we've also been very excited to have a woman as an Agriculture Minister. I can tell you a few bubbles got drunk that day. So now what we're going to do is have a look at a day in the life of a Moora Citrus orange. Absolutely fantastic. That was put together by Lizzie's cousin and my nephew. When you do become Steven Spielberg Fergus, we want your acknowledgement that it all started here in this pack shed. Right, so now we're going to invite the Minister to officially open the shed and unveil the plaque, and I'm going to invite the Moora Citrus Choir to come onto stage to sing for us.
Thanks, Liz. Thanks for everybody. My name is Siwa. and we all came from town. I know much of you guys have never heard of, but it's a very small, tiny island across the South Pacific, and it's a good place to be there in your next vacation. We just want to let you know that we are happy today to be here and to be a part of this special occasion. Is very special, and we're so happy to be here today. We just want to do a little song of our traditional song there now. I hope you guys will enjoy it.
As you can tell, amply today we love our staff. That actually ends proceedings for today. Thank you, Minister, for coming. It's been really special to have you here today. Thank you, everyone. I know lots of you have travelled hundreds of kilometres to get here. We really appreciate it. Please stay and mingle. We've got a morning tea now until 12:30. The Citrus guys have got an AGM at 12:30, so everyone will be hanging around. We really look forward to meeting with you all and chatting this morning. Thank you.